What's up, everybody? Big Herc, Fresh Out. You tuned into another edition of Fresh Out, Life After the Penitentiary, the interviews. I'm here with the homie Nayan.
Nayan, yes sir.
And we're gonna get his story, man. This man has made some really big leaps and bounds as far as a human being's concerned with himself, with his education, his accomplishments. But I'm gonna let him tell you guys more in detail what it is he's done with his life since he's been home and while he was in. But first I want to start off with a little bit about where he's from and some background information. So fill the people in on some details about where you're from and how you grew up.
Okay, well, I'm from Inglewood, California. I was born and raised in Inglewood, went to jail at the age of 18, got out at 28. I got 3 degrees while I was incarcerated, and while I was incarcerated, I also managed to get accepted into a university, working on my music. And I managed to get accepted while still being incarcerated. I didn't even parole yet. So once I got accepted, I started building up a plan for what I wanted to do when I got out. And, the music has been heavy. Right now, I actually happen to have a very exclusive mixtape that's doing pretty good numbers on SoundCloud with beats from DJ Mustard and Boy Wonder.
People magazine, good TMZ, thinking that failure is an option, happiness a vision. Yeah. When you read the love, know my heart is a lyric. Right. Can you please teach me, girl, I'll be your biggest fan. Oh, baby, I bet you tell them other niggas no, baby. You got control, baby, and I know you ain't afraid to let them know, baby. You ain't worried about attention, you receive up in this club.
No. 2 Grammy-winning producers the year they won the Grammy, which is very rare. Like, I'm probably the only college student on this planet that you'll find that from,
So as far as being from Inglewood, man, and growing up, what time period was it? What was it like growing up in Inglewood? You grew up in in the 90s?
Yeah. I grew up in the early 2000s, and it was a gang-related era. My house was gang-related. I come from a household where it's 3 generations of gang members in one house. So I got to see life from that perspective. But it never really had an impact on me and what I was doing until I got to be a teenager.
Okay.
So once I got to be more so like my teenage years and really start understanding what was going on in the climate, that's when I started changing my behavior. But before that, I just seen it as that's a way of life. Like, that's my family. It wasn't nothing like bad or nothing traumatizing. It was just me seeing that this is the way how people get out here,
Mind break colossal, mind games will not do. Wanna see me fall like raindrops and topple, something I will not do. Judas the apostle, can't believe they words, no promissory gospel. Said a long time ago, I just will not lose. Try to tie my hands down, let them not loose. Snakes to a mongoose, fakes ain't go obtuse. They foundation is a lie, not true.
And what was the incident that led to you initially being incarcerated that got you all the time?
It was an armed robbery. And, I tried to rob somebody coming out of bank. I was selling dope that day. I wasn't even pretty much tripping on robbing because that was never my thing. I was a dope dealer and I sold weed. So one of the homies hit me up and, I just went through with it and it went all bad, man.
So while you were, as far as inside and, after you got arrested, what was going through your mind? Was there an instant where you said, well, man, I messed up, or did you kind of feel that, you continued on your path of kind of like gangbanging, or what changed you?
Well, while I was in jail, I still was on a different mentality of just being from the set, and that was like my mind frame. It wasn't nothing else I was worried about, but I also wanted to be a businessman too. So I knew one day that I would have to put business over like the gang politics and all that. So I kind of looked at business as my primary source of what I need to be worried about. And even though I was still in the pen messing up, I paroled from the level 4. Lowest I ever been was a level 3, but I paroled from the 4 based on me being involved with politics. But when I got to prison, my whole mentality was, let me get these degrees and let me get this business started. Let me get these stocks. Let me get all this money in my portfolio so when I get out, I don't have to resort to crime. I already got something going for myself where I could be self-employed, maybe even give somebody else a job if they need be, but I need to be in a position to do it. So business was my prevailing thought in prison.
And who mentored you on your business? Or was it something you just came to your own conclusion with? Because I know, you know, I was in prison. I met a couple mentors that kind of put me on the righteous path. Was there somebody that took you under their wing and kind of laced you up on how to go about making these steps?
Yeah, well, I already had it all down packed on my own because I had like taught myself the shit though. You know, like stocks and business, I picked that up from CEOs, the term CEO, Chief Executive Officer, which is a rap executive also. So when I hear rappers talking about CEOs at a young age, I'm like, this is what I want to do too, because I'm hearing these niggas talk about it. But it was a dude, Curtis Carroll, Curdy Bo, you know, a millionaire in prison, man, trading stocks, taught himself, he got a TED Talks. Dude been on VLAD, he been everywhere, man. Been on Sway Universe. He's highly viral, man. He got millions of views. He's Curdy Bo, you know, Curtis Carroll. He met me at the age of like 20, 21. I was one of the youngest people he ever known to taught himself stocks before he met him. You know, he taught himself stocks too, but he already made bread. Dude showed me 500,000. You know what I'm saying? Literally like on the E-Trade account. I got the same E-Trade, so I know what the paperwork look like. You know, but he was one of the dudes that kind of like took me under his wing and showed me a little bit more into the game and actually motivated me to start my first E-Trade. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, man. I mean, so you had you had a certain mentality, man, and that mentality allowed you to excel. Do you feel like, was there a lot of people around you that you could socialize with the same mentality, or did you have to kind of like keep yourself at a distance from certain people because they felt some kind of way about the way you were carrying yourself? Or
Nah, because I always been a leader. So I always made people want to get into what I was doing, and I never was the opposite to where I wanted to do what everybody else was doing. Because everybody else could be doing some weird, stupid shit, and I wouldn't do it. So I gotta be the mitigating factor between right and wrong, you know, as a leader. So as I gravitated more so to what was right, people gravitated with me. So people would see me doing stocks, doing business. Now they want to learn. Hey man, it look like it's working for you. So let me see if it could work for me. Like, what do you know that can help me out? So I changed the climate in that respect, that I made people gravitate to what I wanted to do more so than be trying to involve in what everybody else got going on. Now, when it's politics, right is right and wrong is wrong. I'm not gonna change anything that's already been set before me. But when it comes to like finding a different way to do shit, I believe that I have a method and I have an approach that's original, it's new, it hasn't been done, and it's been respected by the younger generation, which is why they embrace it. Like, okay, well damn, let us try that shit. Let us try and do it like that. So this is a whole new way of life outside of what we used to, you know what I'm saying? So I never really been in that situation because people always respected me as a leader, and they never put pressure on what I was doing because I was always doing the right shit, you know what I'm saying?
so, as far as like doing the stocks and going to school, like how'd you get involved in the college and prison? I mean, did they have correspondence classes? Did they have professors coming and teaching, or how'd that work?
It was correspondence. It was all correspondence. So it was like 2007, right before I'm about to leave from level 4 and go to level 3. I get in the spring 2007 classes. So I'm enrolled in spring, but I didn't have no books. So I had to put my enrollment in the spring off till the fall of 2007. But I ended up leaving September 2007 and going to level 3. But one of the OGs on the yard told me, like, man, they got college and prison. You know what I'm saying? You can get your degree. Because I was asking about it. I was interested in it, but I didn't know how to do it. So he actually showed me, like, man, go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, get up on your shit. So somebody put me up on it, but I wanted to do it. You know, everybody on the streets was telling me, my big homie, you know, my mother, everybody, like, you should go to school.
That's good, man. I mean, a lot of people don't value the opportunity based on the time, because you have so much time in there, and it's like what you do with your time is so important. And you took the time to, educate yourself on stocks, go to school, and you said you actually got degrees in prison and then got accepted into another university outside of prison. Right, outside of prison. Can you expound on that a little bit? Like, what kind of degrees did you get while you were in prison?
I got a degree in business, social behavioral science, and arts and humanities.
Oh, wow.
So basically, like, when I was trying to sign up for school, because you really, physically, you can't do it. Like, it's not allowed. So I had to have somebody slide me the phone, you know what I'm saying, applied for school, you know what I'm saying, that way over the cell phone, because you physically can't go to you. So,
yeah,
you know,
but
I gotta,
using whatever.
right, this is what I want to do, so this is actually a good thing, though. Even though, you know, I apply online, you know what I'm saying, and bam, I applied to Cal State Northridge, Cal State LA. I get accepted into Cal State LA. So now I'm like, okay, I just got to stay out of trouble. I'm less than a year to the house. Let me just get back home. Let me figure out a route. You know what I'm saying, where I can, bam, go to the halfway house, get straight to school, go enroll, be on. So that was my whole plan, and that's actually what I did. You know what I'm saying? I was involved in a riot, and that still didn't stop. I beat the riot. You know what I'm saying? So it was like God's plan, man, for me to get all this shit done in the right amount of time, and everything happened on time.
So you have a situation where you're actually using a cell phone to benefit yourself through education, not selling drugs.
Nah, it wasn't for selling drugs.
To actually get accepted into a college, preparing yourself, knowing that you have a date, so that when you get out that date, you can transition right into school. And you had your stocks going on, so you got finances and stuff. So you basically rehabilitated yourself and put yourself on the righteous path. I mean, because like you said, it's not. I haven't ran across a lot of guys who are able to, who do that on their own, and who like have the ability to recognize that you can't depend on them to help you or do anything for you.
Nah, hell no.
As a like you said, while you're in as an inmate or ex-con, you have to do all this yourself, and you're a perfect example. Right.
Because it's nothing that they could have showed me to teach me to do that.
They're not even on that level.
They're not even on that level. They discourage you from doing all that shit. Like, really, like, you know what I'm saying? You'll never be able to apply for university while you're in prison. No. But they should allow it, though.
Why not? It's not going to hurt that. And the fact that you said you learned how to do stocks, so when you got out, you wouldn't have to be, in there, worried about scrubbing dishes and doing all this stuff. You can actually use your mind and say, oh, I can see there's an opportunity because the stock's going to go up on this. So you can make money. I mean, why would you allow that? Because from my perspective, they don't really want you to get out there and be as successful as your success.
No, they don't. They don't want you. You know what's crazy, right? When I got to the halfway house, because I used to read Fortune, Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur, all these different business magazines, and I had like 10 years worth of articles on ways to make music, ways to make money off of music. So you don't gotta work. You can monetize your music and make a living off music. This is 10 years worth of shit. The paperwork stack about this big. Like it's a big fucking stack of papers or articles on music.
Stuff you just accumulated.
So I get to the halfway house, man, and I check my property. That's the only fucking thing missing is 10 years worth of articles on how to make money off music. I was mad as a motherfucker, man. Like, I'm like, out of all the sabotage and all the things you could do, they do the most hoish shit and get me for something that, you know what I'm saying, that this is my life. I mean, I'm gonna make money off music anyway, but this was a shortcut to where I can't find 10 years worth of shit that fast.
No, and the thing is, you took the time to, while you were in there, do the research, gather the notes and stuff. And I know exactly how you feel. I had a couple of journals. Luckily, I got them, but I had a couple of journals. I used to write down stuff, like you said. I would clip notes out of Vanity Fair, Forbes, Fortune, Wired, look at different stuff, and like, okay, when I get out, I'm gonna do this, or I can do that to try to keep up. And it's maximizing your resources because it's so limited in there. You like you say, you don't have access to the internet like everybody else or all this stuff, so you actually maximize your resources. So, once you got out now, tell us what you're doing now, man.
Oh yeah, well, I'm into music heavy. I just, had a show last night and another show a week before that. I got another show coming up this week. So, trying to go on tour, shout out to the homies, Lil Deuce, Rucci, trying to go on tour when they get back. But I'm more so into the top side, the music. Everything I was working for in the pen, the reason why I got the degrees, the reason why I got accepted into the school, because I wanted to get to a university to help fund my label, because I knew that I would get my financial aid. I never used it at all in the pen. This is the first time I ever used it was when I got to school, so I knew that I would qualify for the most. In the pen, I was paying for my own books. I was trading stocks to buy books. So basically, the top side was what I prepared myself for, the record label that I prepared myself for. You know what I'm saying? And right now, like I say, man, I'm blessed to have beats, from DJ Mustard, from Boy Wonder, Drake's producer, both won Grammys this year. That's unheard of outside of I'm the only person in college with that, you know what I'm saying? Like in the world, like that's an awesome feeling, you know, but it's hard work involved. You know, I'm collaborating with established artists, you know, and just really getting off into the music because I experienced death, you know, lost so many people, lost about 8 people 2018 alone. You know, it was a bad year, but we've been pushing for the best, you know, and even though I experienced so much loss and pain, I've experienced gain too. You know, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished, you know, and we actually putting on and doing this for the people that's not here to see it, you know.
And, you know, in retrospect, if you can, you know, tell a youngster, like a younger version of you that's out there in the game, or somebody who's going through some hard times or been through the system, or, you know, is getting out the system, what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, man, just basically if you going through it and you don't have no way out, just educate yourself, because any answer that you're looking for is found in education, man. It ain't even got to be directly in the book, but the book can motivate your brain to think about the solution. So always be ready to educate yourself, because whatever you think don't got an answer to it, it got an answer. Any question got an answer to it. Because if it don't got an answer, the question don't exist. So you can solve anything you put your mind to. Just be ready to put the work in and get the knowledge to answer your question.
Is there anything as far as you would like to say to the people out there, as far as your social media or any of your fans and stuff like that, as far as for your label, what you guys got planned in the future?
Right. Well, you know, we just plan to really just push this mixtape I got right now. You know, Nayan Kessee, that's my name on SoundCloud. Nayan the Keys on Instagram. So right now, you know, it's just really pushing this mixtape. You know, the homie Lil Deuce dropping his mixtape in the summer. Scheme, you know, he dropping his album in the summer. You know, everybody just really pushing for the best, you know, pushing for what's going on right now. So Topside itself, we got our merchandise, our t-shirts, sweaters available in the Level Up store, you know, right there off Centinela. You know, we trying to get a lot of good things going for the city, you know, the north side, the top side. We really just trying to push the brand right and really get everything going in the right direction. So what I've been working for on the streets is really just pushing this project I got right now. Is If This Wasn't For Me, that's the name of the mixtape, but well received so far, and hopefully it's, you know, going #1 on the billboards real soon.
Hey man, I commend you, man. You're a great example of a young brother, man, who's turned his life around, who's could be a role model to others out there, you know, in the mix, and you've shown that, you know, there's no excuses, man. You like I said, you took the cell phone and flipped it. You got into stocks. You got your acceptance from prison into a university. That shit's unheard of, you know, because most guys ain't even thinking about that. If they have the cell phone, they trying to call their breezy. You know what I mean? They spending all the time on the phone with their breezy, you know.
Right.
But this guy right here took that and used it to his advantage. So I gotta give him props, man. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to bring you on the show to get your story, man, because I think a lot of people, when they watch this, they'll be inspired, and other young males will be able to look at you and think that, hey, man, if he can do it, I can do it. You know, and that's what it's all about, man. It's about, you know, putting that positivity and that motivation out there.
Right.
Hey, man, much props, man.
Yes, sir.
Check out his social media links in the description, and his music. This guy's going big, you know, going places, doing big things. This is Big Herc. Life After the Penitentiary. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.